Okay, hey everybody, Dan Fitzpatrick here, stockmarketmentor.com. And I want to look at Oracle. Now, this thing has been like on the mudslide to hell ever since they announced such an awesome deal in AI. Um, Everybody got all lathered up about that, and where that stock closed on the first day, now it's only down, oh, I know, 50 some percent, almost 55 percent. So this has been, let's just say it hasn't been good. And so all that time later, now we've got earnings here. Okay. That worked out awesome. Then we've got earnings here. That didn't work out very well. Then we've got earnings here. Now, all the way, this thing's been stair-stepping downwards, right? So then we get earnings here, and now this is what we see. And they announced great earnings. They gave strong earnings and guidance, and so that was really 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 awesome that they did that, and everybody got really really psyched. It's up 9% today. Okay, sell it, just ditch this thing right away. And I'll tell you why. From a technical standpoint, 50 day, not 50-day there, excuse me, 50-day moving average here, 50-day moving average here. We've got the 200-day moving average drifting lower. We've got the 50-day moving average drifting lower at a steeper level, and below the 200, this thing came right up and kissed the 50-day moving average, and now it's down. And volume was over twice average volume. And so a lot of people bought this stock. I don't know. Maybe there were shorts covering. I don't know. Maybe they kind of dig Larry Ellison's. Is his son running it, or I think he's doing so? I don't know what. Anyway, but the bottom line is, though, and I'm sure it would not surprise me, but I don't know for sure. This would probably be the kind of thing that Jim Cramer is going to be pumping today on Mad Money. Again, I don't know because I can't remember the last time I watched that show. If he is, awesome. Listen to Jim. But listen to me too. Sell this. There's going to be no follow through on this. It's had to get up to the 50-day moving average. Couldn't even push up above there. I think at best, this is going to be a little bit of a maybe gap and hold tomorrow. So that's all I got for you guys. What I did, I just featured this in for our members video is I'm really long SanDisk now. I know it's still in a squeeze, but I got involved on this first day on Monday when it started moving higher. I have no illusions that the stock's going to run up like that. What I'm thinking it's going to do is kind of drift around sideways for a while. Sorry, I'm doing stuff with my printer. Anyway, so I think it's going to wind up kind of grinding around here for a while, but I'm building a position so that when the stock ultimately does move higher, as I think that it will, that's what my trade's going to be, then I'll be there and I'll have a pretty decent size position. I'll get paid off for being right. On Oracle, I don't know. You could even short this pig. The high is 171.76. So set your here. That's where you'd get out right here. I'll put it green. Okay. So if you short the stock, if it runs up to there, then you got to get out. Okay. And so if you're doing that, you got about a 5% risk. So that's my trade on Oracle. I have virtually never made any money on Oracle to the long side. So do I hold this? Do I take it personally? Yeah, I kind of do. I think I take it personally. So anyway, that's Oracle. That's all I got for you guys today. Okay. I hope you have a great evening, and I'll see you manana.